Do you want to successfully complete the D316 Objective Assessment exam? Then you are in the right place. Our website provides a list of questions and answers for your success in the D316 OA exam for free. We understand that acing your OA exam can be quite challenging. That's why we provide completely free exam guides and practice questions for you. In this video, we will cover questions from computer hardware, system components, peripherals and ports, storage technology, and troubleshooting and errors. So, let's get started. 1. What does a post-error code with continuous beeping usually indicate? A. Power supply issue. B. Memory module or memory controller issue. C. Keyboard not connected. D. Hard drive failure. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Memory module or memory controller issue. Explanation. Option B is correct because a continuous beep from the motherboard speaker during the power on self-test, or POST, is a universal signal for a critical hardware failure, most commonly a problem with the system's RAM. Option A is incorrect because a power supply issue typically results in the computer not turning on at all, or a different pattern of beeps, not a continuous one. Option C is incorrect because an error with a keyboard not being connected is usually indicated by a specific, short beep code or an on-screen message, not a continuous alarm. Option D is incorrect because hard drive failures are generally detected by the BIOS later in the boot sequence, after the initial post beeps have completed. 2. What does the Trusted Platform module provide? A. Fast booting. B. Hardware-based encryption and secure storage. C. Enhanced GPU performance. D. Secure network connections. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Hardware-based encryption and secure storage. Explanation. Option B is correct because a Trusted Platform Module, or TPM, is a dedicated microchip designed to provide hardware-based security functions, primarily by securely storing cryptographic keys, passwords, and digital certificates. Option A is incorrect because fast booting is a feature related to the operating system, UEFI firmware, and fast storage devices like SSDs, not the TPM. Option C is incorrect because GPU performance is determined by the graphics processing unit itself and is unrelated to the TPM security chip. Option D is incorrect because while a TPM can store keys used for secure networking, it does not provide the network connection itself. That is the job of a network interface card. 3. Which RAID level combines striping and mirroring for fault tolerance and performance? A. RAID 0, B. RAID 1, C. RAID 5, D. RAID 10. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. RAID 10. Explanation. Option D is correct because RAID 10, also known as RAID 1 plus 0, is a nested RAID level that combines the disk mirroring of RAID 1 with the disk striping of RAID 0. This provides both the high performance of striping and the redundancy of mirroring. Option A is incorrect because RAID 0 involves data striping only, which increases performance but offers no fault tolerance or redundancy. Option B is incorrect because RAID 1 involves data mirroring only, which provides excellent redundancy but does not include the performance benefits of striping. Option C is incorrect because RAID 5 uses data striping with distributed parity, which provides redundancy and good read performance, but is a different method than combining striping and mirroring. 4. What does a single short beep after powering on a PC typically indicate? A. Power failure. B. Normal post. C. BIOS error. D. RAM issue. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Normal post. Explanation. Option B is correct because for most BIOS and UEFI systems, a single short beep is an audible signal that the power on self-test, or POST, has completed successfully and the system is proceeding to boot the operating system. Option A is incorrect because a power failure means the system would not power on or would shut down unexpectedly. It would not produce a successful post beep. Option C is incorrect because a BIOS error would be indicated by a different, more complex beep code, such as a series of long and short beeps, to signal a specific problem. Option D is incorrect because a RAM issue would trigger a specific error beep code, often a series of repeating beeps or a continuous tone, not a single short beep. 5. What type of cable uses an RJ11 connector? A. Ethernet. B. Telephone. C. Fiber. D. HDMI. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Telephone. Explanation. Option B is correct because the RJ11 connector is the standard connector used for terminating telephone lines to connect phones and modems to a wall jack. Option A is incorrect because Ethernet cables use the larger 8-pin RJ45 connector. Option C is incorrect because fiber optic cables use specialized connectors like LC, South Carolina or ST that are designed for light transmission. Option D is incorrect because HDMI is a digital audio and video interface that uses its own unique wide connector. 6. What does RAID 5 provide? A. Data striping without parity. B. Data striping with parity. CC. Mirroring. D. Data striping and mirroring. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Data striping with parity. Explanation. Option B is correct because RAID 5 works by striping data across multiple drives and also writing parity information that is distributed across all the drives. This setup provides a good balance of storage efficiency, performance, and data redundancy. Option A is incorrect because data striping without parity is the definition of RAID 0. Option C is incorrect because mirroring, where all data is duplicated on another drive, is the definition of RAID 1. Option D is incorrect because combining data striping and mirroring is the definition of RAID 10. 7. What is the maximum theoretical speed of a USB 3.1 Gen 1 connection? A. 5 Gbps. B. 10 Gbps. C. 480 megabits per second. D. 12 megabits per second. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. 5 Gbps. Explanation. Option A is correct because USB 3.1 Gen 1 is the official name for the standard previously known as USB 3.0, which has a maximum theoretical data transfer speed of 5 gigabits per second. Option B is incorrect because 10 Gbps is the maximum speed for the faster USB 3.1 Gen 2 standard. Option C is incorrect because 480 megabits per second is the maximum speed for the much older USB 2.0 standard. Option D is incorrect because 12 megabits per second is the maximum speed for the legacy USB 1.1 standard. 8. What kind of storage device is typically used for long-term, high-capacity storage? A. RAM. B. SSD. C. HDD. D. ROM. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C, HDD. Explanation, option C is correct because hard disk drives, or HDDs, offer the largest storage capacities for the lowest cost per gigabyte, making them the most common choice for storing large amounts of data long term. Option A is incorrect because RAM is volatile memory used for active processes. It cannot store data when the power is off. Option B is incorrect because while SSDs are used for long-term storage, HDDs are generally more cost-effective for achieving very high capacities, making them the typical choice for bulk data. Option D is incorrect because ROM, or read-only memory, is used for firmware and cannot be written to by the user, nor does it offer high capacity. 9. What does ECC memory do? A. Improves data transfer speed. B. Corrects single-bit memory errors. C. Increases CPU clock speed. D. Enhances video rendering. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Corrects single-bit memory errors. Explanation. Option B is correct because ECC, which stands for Error Correcting Code, memory contains special circuitry that can detect and correct the most common kinds of internal data corruption, specifically single-bit errors. Option A is incorrect because the extra process of checking for errors can make ECC memory slightly slower than non-ECC memory of the same speed. Option C is incorrect because the type of memory used does not affect the CPU's clock speed. Option D is incorrect because video rendering performance is determined by the Graphics Processing Unit, or GPU, not the system's main memory type. 10. What does overclocking a CPU involve? A. Increasing the voltage. B. Running the CPU at a higher clock speed than the manufacturer specifies. C. Decreasing the clock speed to save power. D. Shutting down the CPU when it overheats. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Running the CPU at a higher clock speed than the manufacturer specifies. Explanation. Option B is correct because overclocking is the practice of increasing a component's clock rate to run at a higher speed than it was designed to run by the manufacturer, with the goal of improving performance. Option A is incorrect because increasing the voltage is often a necessary step to maintain stability during an overclock, but it is a means to an end, not the definition of overclocking itself. Option C is incorrect because decreasing the clock speed is known as underclocking and is done to reduce power consumption and heat. Option D is incorrect because shutting down due to overheating is a thermal protection safety feature to prevent damage, not a performance-enhancing technique. 11. Which component is responsible for rendering graphics in a computer system? A. CPU. B. GPU. C. RAM. D. ENIC. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. GPU. Explanation. Option B is correct because the GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit, is a specialized electronic circuit designed to rapidly create and manipulate images for output to a display device. Option A is incorrect because the CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is the primary processor for general tasks, but offloads intensive graphics work to the more efficient GPU. Option C is incorrect because RAM, or Random Access Memory, is the main system memory that holds data for active programs but does not perform any graphics processing. Option D is incorrect because a NIC, or Network Interface Card, is a hardware component used to connect a computer to a network. 12. What type of power supply connector is typically used for hard drives and SSDs? A. Molex, B. SATA, C. PCIe, D. USB. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. SATA. Explanation: option B is correct, because modern internal hard drives and solid-state drives use the 15-pin SATA power connector to receive power from the computer's power supply unit. Option A is incorrect because the 4-pin Molex connector was used for older IDE hard drives and other peripherals, but has largely been replaced by SATA power for modern drives. Option C is incorrect because the 6-pin or 8-pin PCIe power connector is specifically used to provide extra power to high-performance graphics cards. Option D is incorrect because USB is an interface for connecting external devices, not an internal power connector from the power supply. 13. Which of the following is a benefit of solid-state drives over hard disk drives? A. Lower capacity. B. Higher durability and faster read-write speeds. C. Higher power consumption. D. Slower data access. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Higher durability and faster read-write speeds. Explanation: option B is correct because SSDs have no moving mechanical parts, which makes them more resistant to shock and damage. This design also allows for significantly faster data access and transfer speeds compared to HDDs. Option A is incorrect because lower capacity per dollar is a disadvantage of SSDs compared to HDDs, not a benefit. Option C is incorrect because SSDs generally consume less power than HDDs, as they do not need to power a spinning motor. Option D is incorrect because slower data access is a characteristic of mechanical HDDs. SSDs offer much faster access times. 14. What type of memory is non-volatile and retains data when the computer is powered off? A. RAM, B. ROM, C. CPU cache, D. VRAM. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. ROM. Explanation: option B is correct because ROM, or read-only memory, is a type of non-volatile storage where data is permanently stored and cannot be easily modified, retaining its contents even without power. Option A is incorrect because RAM, or random access memory, is volatile and loses all its stored information as soon as power is cut. Option C is incorrect because CPU cache is a small amount of high-speed volatile memory that loses its data when the computer is turned off. Option D is incorrect because VRAM, or video RAM, is the memory used by the graphics card and is also volatile, clearing its contents when power is removed. 15. What kind of storage device is typically used in modern mobile devices? A. HDD, B. SSD, C. SD card, D. Floppy disk. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. SSD. Explanation: option B is correct because the internal non-removable storage in modern mobile devices like smartphones and tablets is a form of solid-state drive technology, such as EMC or UFS, which provides fast, low-power data access in a small footprint. Option A is incorrect because HDDs use spinning platters and are too large, power-intensive and fragile for use in portable mobile devices. Option C is incorrect because an SD card is a form of removable or expandable storage used in many, but not all, mobile devices. The primary internal storage is a non-removable solid-state type. Option D is incorrect because floppy disks are an obsolete magnetic storage medium with extremely low capacity and are not used in any modern electronics. 16. What is the purpose of a heatsink in a computer system? A. To increase CPU speed. B. To cool down components. C. To store extra data. D. To protect the power supply. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. To cool down components. Explanation. Option B is correct because a heatsink is a passive cooling component made of a heat-conducting metal. It is designed to absorb heat generated by a component like a CPU and dissipate it into the surrounding air, preventing overheating. Option A is incorrect because while better cooling can enable a CPU to run faster without overheating, the heatsink's direct purpose is to dissipate heat, not to increase speed. Option C is incorrect because storing data is the function of storage devices like SSDs or HDDs. Option D is incorrect because protecting the power supply is achieved through internal components like fuses and circuit breakers, not a heatsink. 17. What is the function of the BIOS in a computer system? A. Store user files. B. Control hardware initialization and provide runtime services. C. Improve GPU performance. D. Increase network speed. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Control hardware initialization and provide runtime services. Explanation. Option B is correct because the BIOS, or Basic Input-Output System, is firmware that runs when a computer is first powered on. Its primary jobs are to initialize and test hardware components and to load the operating system. Option A is incorrect because user files are stored on non-volatile storage devices like hard drives and SSDs. Option C is incorrect because GPU performance is determined by the graphics card's hardware and drivers, not the system BIOS. Option D is incorrect because network speed is determined by the network adapter and the connected network infrastructure. 18. What does a CPU's clock speed measure? A. How many cores it has. B. How fast it executes instructions. C. How much power it consumes. D. How many threads it can run simultaneously. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. How fast it executes instructions. Explanation. Option B is correct because the clock speed, measured in hertz, indicates how many processing cycles the CPU can perform per second. A higher clock speed generally means instructions can be executed more quickly. Option A is incorrect because the number of cores is a separate specification that tells you how many independent processing units are on the CPU chip. Option C is incorrect because power consumption is measured in watts and, while related to clock speed, is not what clock speed itself measures. Option D is incorrect because the number of threads indicates how many separate tasks a CPU can handle at once, which is related to its core count and features like hyper-threading. 19. What is the most common type of cooling system used in desktops? A. Liquid cooling. B. Heat sink with a fan. C. Passive cooling. D. Water-cooled CPU. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Heat sink with a fan. Explanation. Option B is correct because this combination, known as an active air cooler, is the standard, cost-effective and reliable method used to cool the CPU in the vast majority of consumer and business desktop computers. Option A is incorrect because liquid cooling is a more advanced, expensive and complex solution typically used by gamers and performance enthusiasts, not the most common system. Option C is incorrect because passive cooling, which uses a heatsink with no fan, is only effective for very low power components and is not sufficient for most desktop CPUs. Option D is incorrect because a water-cooled CPU is just another term for liquid cooling, which is not the most common cooling method. 20. What is the purpose of dual-channel memory? A. To improve GPU performance. B. To increase memory bandwidth. C. To reduce power consumption. D. To enhance CPU speed. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. To increase memory bandwidth. Explanation. Option B is correct because a dual-channel memory configuration provides two separate 64-bit data channels between the memory controller and the RAM, effectively doubling the data transfer rate and increasing memory bandwidth. Option A is incorrect because while systems with integrated graphics see a significant performance boost from dual-channel memory, the primary purpose is to increase bandwidth for the entire system. Option C is incorrect because a dual-channel setup does not inherently reduce power consumption. Using two RAM modules generally consumes more power than one. Option D is incorrect because while increased memory bandwidth allows the CPU to access data faster and thus improves overall system performance, it does not directly increase the CPU's own clock speed. 21. Which type of storage is often used in data centers for high-speed and high-capacity applications? A. HDD, B. SSD, C. RAID arrays, D. Floppy disks. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. RAID arrays. Explanation. Option C is correct because RAID arrays combine multiple individual drives, either HDDs or SSDs, into a single logical unit. This is done to achieve goals like increased performance, massive capacity, and data redundancy, which are all critical in a data center environment. Option A is incorrect because while data centers use many HDDs, they are almost always configured into RAID arrays rather than used as individual, standalone disks. Option B is incorrect because while data centers use SSDs for high-speed applications, they are also configured into RAID arrays to provide protection against drive failure. Option D is incorrect because floppy disks are obsolete technology with no practical use in a modern data center. 22. What is the function of the North Bridge on a motherboard? A. Control peripheral devices. B. Manage CPU and memory communication. C. Power the CPU. D. Provide audio and video output. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Manage CPU and memory communication. Explanation. Option B is correct because in traditional motherboard architecture, the North Bridge is a chipset that acts as the primary controller for high-speed components, managing the communication between the CPU, RAM, and the graphics card slot. Option A is incorrect because controlling slower peripheral devices, such as USB and storage ports, was the responsibility of the South Bridge chipset. Option C is incorrect because power is delivered to the CPU by the motherboard's voltage regulator module, which is supplied by the main power supply. Option D is incorrect because audio and video output are handled by dedicated controllers or cards, which may be connected through the North Bridge, but are not the North Bridge itself. 23. What is the most common interface for connecting modern external storage devices? A. PCI, B. SATA, C. USB-D Firewire. Do you know the answer? Correct answer C, USB. Explanation option C is correct because USB, which stands for Universal Serial Bus, is the ubiquitous standard for connecting a wide range of external peripherals, including flash drives, external hard drives, and SSDs to a computer. Option A is incorrect because PCIe is an internal expansion bus used for components like graphics cards, not for common external storage. Option B is incorrect because SATA is primarily an interface for internal storage devices. Its external variant, a SATA, is far less common than USB. Option D is incorrect because FireWire is a legacy interface that was once a competitor to USB, but is now rarely found on modern devices. 24. What is a common characteristic of M2 SSDs? A. They require external power. B. They use the SATA interface. C. They are physically smaller and faster than traditional SSDs. D. They have higher failure rates than HDDs. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. They are physically smaller and faster than traditional SSDs. Explanation. Option C is correct because M2 SSDs are designed as small, gumstick-shaped circuit boards that mount directly onto the motherboard. When they use the NVMe protocol, they can achieve speeds significantly faster than traditional 2.5-inch SATA SSDs. Option A is incorrect because M2 drives draw power directly from the M2 slot on the motherboard and do not require a separate power cable. Option B is incorrect because while some M2 SSDs do use the SATA protocol, many use the much faster NVMe protocol over PCIe lanes. Therefore, using SATA is not a universal characteristic. Option D is incorrect because all SSDs, including the M2 form factor, lack moving parts and are generally more reliable and less prone to physical failure than mechanical HDDs. 25. Which tool would you use to test a network cable's integrity? A. Multimeter. B. Cable tester. C. Power supply tester. D. Screwdriver. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Cable tester. Explanation. Option B is correct because a network cable tester is a purpose-built device designed to check for problems in an Ethernet cable, such as incorrect wire mapping, opens, shorts, and split pairs. Option A is incorrect because while a multimeter can be used to check for simple continuity on a wire, it cannot easily verify the correct pinout or test for more complex faults in a network cable. Option C is incorrect because a power supply tester is a specialized tool used to check the voltage outputs of a computer's power supply unit. Option D is incorrect because a screwdriver is a hand tool for turning screws and has no electronic testing capabilities. 26. What is an RJ45 connector used for? A. Audio devices. B. Ethernet connections. C. Display connections. D. Power supply. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Ethernet connections. Explanation. Option B is correct because the RJ45 connector is the standard modular connector used at the end of Ethernet network cables for creating wired network connections. Option A is incorrect because audio devices typically use connectors like 3.5mm phone jacks, RCA plugs, or optical connectors. Option C is incorrect because modern displays use digital connectors like HDMI or DisplayPort, or the older analog VGA connector. Option D is incorrect because a computer's power supply uses connectors like the 24-pin ATX, 8-pin EPS, and SATA power connectors. 27. Which of the following is considered volatile memory? A. ROM, B. SSD, C. RAM, D. HDD. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. RAM. Explanation: option C is correct because RAM, or random access memory, is volatile, which means it requires constant power to maintain the information stored in it. When the computer is turned off, the contents of RAM are lost. Option A is incorrect because ROM, or read-only memory, is non-volatile and retains its data without power. Option B is incorrect because an SSD, or solid-state drive, uses flash memory, which is non-volatile and stores data permanently until erased. Option D is incorrect because an HDD, or hard disk drive, stores data on magnetic platters, which is a non-volatile form of storage. 28. What is the maximum theoretical speed of a SATA 3 connection? A. 1.5 Gbps, B. 3 Gbps, C. 6 Gbps, D. 12 Gbps. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. 6 Gbps. Explanation: option C is correct because SATA 3, also known as SATA 6 GB/s, is the third generation of the SATA interface and supports a maximum data transfer speed of 6 gigabits per second. Option A is incorrect because 1.5 Gbps is the speed of the first generation SATA 1 interface. Option B is incorrect because 3 Gbps is the speed of the second generation SATA 2 interface. Option D is incorrect because 12 Gbps is a speed associated with the SAS, or Serial Attached SCSI interface, which is commonly used in enterprise servers, not SATA. 29. What component is responsible for storing BIOS settings? A. RAM, B. SSD, C. CMOS battery, D. Power supply. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. CMOS battery. Explanation: option C is correct because the CMOS battery provides continuous power to a small chip of memory, known as CMOS RAM, on the motherboard. This memory stores the BIOS or UEFI configuration setting, such as the system date, time, and boot order, when the main computer power is off. Option A is incorrect because RAM is volatile memory that is completely cleared when the computer is shut down. Option B is incorrect because the SSD is used for storing the operating system, applications, and user data, not low-level hardware settings. Option D is incorrect because the power supply provides power to the whole system when it is on but does not store any configuration data itself. 30. What is the purpose of an uninterruptible power supply? A. To provide backup power during a power outage. B. To increase CPU performance. C. To reduce GPU temperature. D. To store additional data. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. To provide backup power during a power outage. Explanation: option A is correct because an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, contains a battery that provides emergency power to connected devices in the event of a main power failure, allowing time for a safe shutdown. Option B is incorrect because a UPS is a power protection device and has no effect on the performance or speed of the CPU. Option C is incorrect because a UPS does not provide any cooling for computer components like the GPU. Option D is incorrect because a UPS is a power device, not a storage device, and cannot store any data. 31. Which port is commonly used for video output on modern laptops? A. VGA, B. HDMI, C. RJ11, D, PS2. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B, HDMI. Explanation: option B is correct because HDMI, which stands for High Definition Multimedia Interface, is a very common digital port on modern laptops for sending both high-definition video and audio to an external monitor, TV or projector. Option A is incorrect because VGA is an older, analog-only video port that has been largely replaced by digital standards and is rarely found on new laptops. Option C is incorrect because RJ11 is a small port used for telephone line connections, not for video. Option D is incorrect because PS2 is an obsolete port used for connecting legacy keyboards and mice, not displays. 32. What is a disadvantage of RAID 0? A. Slower data access speeds. B. No data redundancy. C. High power consumption. D. Complex configuration. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. No data redundancy. Explanation: option B is correct because RAID 0 achieves its high speed by striping data across multiple drives, but it does not include any parity or mirroring. This lack of redundancy means that if a single drive in the array fails, all data on the entire array is lost. Option A is incorrect because the primary advantage of RAID 0 is that it significantly increases data access speeds, making it faster, not slower. Option C is incorrect because while using more drives increases power consumption, this is not considered the primary or defining disadvantage compared to the total risk of data loss. Option D is incorrect because RAID 0 is one of the simplest RAID levels to set up, requiring minimal configuration. 33. What's the purpose of a CPU socket on a motherboard? A. To connect the GPU. B. To hold and connect the CPU to the motherboard. C. To provide power to the hard drive. D. To increase memory capacity. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. To hold and connect the CPU to the motherboard. Explanation: option B is correct because the CPU socket is a mechanical component that provides the physical and electrical connection between the central processing unit and the motherboard, holding it securely in place. Option A is incorrect because the GPU or graphics card connects to a PCIe slot on the motherboard. Option C is incorrect because the hard drive receives power directly from the power supply unit via a SATA power cable. Option D is incorrect because memory capacity is increased by installing RAM modules into the dedicated DIMM or SODIMM slots. 34. What is the primary function of the GPU in a computer system? A. Execute software instructions. B. Manage memory allocation. C. Render graphics and videos. D. Control network traffic. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Render graphics and videos. Explanation: option C is correct because the GPU, or graphics processing unit, is a specialized processor designed specifically for handling complex mathematical calculations related to creating and displaying 2D and 3D images, graphics, and video. Option A is incorrect because executing general-purpose software instructions is the primary function of the central processing unit, or CPU. Option B is incorrect because the operating system's kernel is responsible for managing the allocation of system memory. Option D is incorrect because controlling network traffic is the job of the network interface card. or NIC. 35. What is the primary purpose of the CMOS battery? A. Power the motherboard. B. Store system settings like date and time. C. Provide backup power for the CPU. D. Supply power to the hard drive. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Store system settings like date and time. Explanation. Option B is correct because the CMOS battery provides a small continuous electrical charge to the motherboard's CMOS chip, which preserves essential hardware settings, system time, and date when the computer is powered off. Option A is incorrect because the entire motherboard is powered by the main power supply unit, not the tiny CMOS battery. Option C is incorrect because the CMOS battery has far too little power to run the CPU. Backup power for a system requires a UPS. Option D is incorrect because the hard drive receives its power from the main power supply unit. 36. What is the typical function of an RJ45 connector? A. To connect a printer. B. To connect a keyboard. C. To connect Ethernet cables. D. To connect an HDMI cable. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. To connect Ethernet cables. Explanation. Option C is correct because an RJ45 connector is the 8-pin connector universally used to terminate twisted pair Ethernet cables for use in wired computer networks. Option A is incorrect because while a network printer connects to the network using an RJ45 port, the connector's general function is for Ethernet, not specifically for printers. Most printers today use USB or Wi-Fi. Option B is incorrect because modern keyboards connect via USB or wireless technologies like Bluetooth. Option D is incorrect because an HDMI cable uses its own unique, much wider connector, designed for high bandwidth audio and video. 37. What does EC and ECRAM stand for? A. Extended clock cycles. B. Error correction code. C. Enhanced compatibility check. D. Extra capacity cache. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Error correction code. Explanation. Option B is correct because ECC stands for Error Correcting Code. This type of RAM is used in servers and workstations to detect and correct single-bit memory errors on the fly, ensuring data integrity and system stability. Option A is incorrect because extended clock cycles is not a standard memory term. Option C is incorrect because enhanced compatibility check is not what the ECC acronym stands for. Option D is incorrect because extra capacity cache is a made-up term. ECC does not relate to cache or capacity. 38. What is a typical characteristic of a power supply unit in a desktop computer? A. Supplies AC power. B. Converts AC power to DC power. C. Stores energy for the CPU. D. Increases network speed. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, BA. Converts AC power to DC power. Explanation. Option B is correct because the primary function of a power supply unit, or PSU, is to take the high voltage alternating current from a wall outlet and convert it into the stable, low voltage direct current required by all the internal components of a computer. Option A is incorrect because the PSU receives AC power but supplies DC power to the computer's components. Option C is incorrect because a PSU does not store energy for later use. It performs real-time power conversion. A UPS is used for energy storage. Option D is incorrect because a PSU is completely unrelated to the computer's network performance or speed. 39. What type of component is a PCIe slot used for? A. Storage. B. Memory. C. Expansion cards such as graphics cards. D. Power supply. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Expansion cards such as graphics cards. Explanation. Option C is correct because PCIe, which stands for Peripheral Component Interconnect Express, is a high-speed serial expansion bus standard used to connect components like graphics cards, network cards, and sound cards to the motherboard. Option A is incorrect because while some high-speed NVMe SSDs use the PCE bus, they typically connect via a dedicated M2 slot, not a standard PCE slot. Option B is incorrect because system memory, or RAM, is installed in separate DIMM slots on the motherboard. Option D is incorrect because the power supply is a separate unit that connects to the motherboard via dedicated power connectors, not an expansion slot. 40. What component controls the system time when the computer is off? A. GPU. B. CMOS battery. C. Power supply. D. RAM. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. CMOS battery. Explanation. Option B is correct because the CMOS battery provides power to the motherboard's real-time clock, or RTC, which is a small circuit that keeps track of the current date and time, even when the computer is unplugged. Option A is incorrect because the GPU is responsible for rendering graphics and is completely inactive when the computer is off. Option C is incorrect because the main power supply is not active when the computer is shut down and does not maintain the system clock. Option D is incorrect because RAM is volatile memory that is completely empty when the computer is powered off. 41. What does the North Bridge chipset typically connect to? A. Hard drives. B. CPU and RAM. C. Keyboard and mouse. D. USB ports. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. CPU and RAM. Explanation. Option B is correct because in traditional motherboard designs, the North Bridge acted as the central hub for high-speed traffic, directly connecting the CPU to the main memory, or RAM, and the primary graphics slot. Option A is incorrect because hard drives were connected to the slower South Bridge chipset. Option C is incorrect because keyboard and mouse ports were managed by the South Bridge. Option D is incorrect because USB ports and other lower speed peripherals were also controlled by the South Bridge chipset. 42. What component provides additional cooling to prevent overheating? A. Hard drive. B. CPU fan. C. RAM. D. USB port. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. CPU fan. Explanation. Option B is correct because a CPU fan is an active cooling component that is mounted on top of the CPU's heatsink. It works by actively blowing air across the heatsink's fins to dissipate heat more effectively and prevent the processor from overheating. Option A is incorrect because a hard drive is a data storage device and provides no cooling function. Option C is incorrect because RAM is a memory component and does not provide cooling for other parts. Option D is incorrect because a USB port is an input-output interface and is unrelated to system cooling. 43. What is the advantage of using dual-channel memory? A. Doubles the storage capacity. B. Increases data transfer speed between RAM and CPU. C. Reduces CPU heat. D. Uses less power. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Increases data transfer speed between RAM and CPU. Explanation. Option B is correct because using two matching RAM sticks in a dual-channel configuration creates two parallel data paths to the memory controller. This effectively doubles the memory bandwidth, allowing data to be transferred much faster and improving overall system responsiveness. Option A is incorrect because while using two sticks of RAM instead of one does double the capacity, the dual-channel mode itself is a feature related to speed, not capacity. Option C is incorrect because a dual-channel memory configuration does not have a direct effect on reducing CPU temperature. Option D is incorrect because two RAM modules will typically consume slightly more power than a single module, not less. 44. What is the function of the heatsink in a computer system? A. Store energy. B. Transfer heat away from components. C. Provide power. D. Enhance network speed. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Transfer heat away from components. Explanation. Option B is correct because a heatsink is made of a thermally conductive metal, like aluminum or copper, and is designed with a large surface area. Its function is to absorb thermal energy from a hot component, like a CPU or GPU, and dissipate that heat into the surrounding air. Option A is incorrect because a heatsink is a passive thermal component and does not store energy. That is the function of a battery or capacitor. Option C is incorrect because a heatsink does not provide electrical power. That is the job of the power supply unit. Option D is incorrect because a heatsink is a cooling device and has no impact on network performance. 45. What is the purpose of a DIMM slot? A. Install RAM modules. B. Connect hard drives. C. Install GPUs. D. Provide power. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. Install RAM modules. Explanation. Option A is correct because a DIMM, which stands for Dual Inline Memory Module Slot, is the socket on a computer's motherboard where system RAM modules are installed. Option B is incorrect because hard drives connect to the motherboard via SATA or M2 connectors. Option C is incorrect because GPUs or graphics cards are installed in PCIe expansion slots. Option D is incorrect because while the DIMM slot does provide power to the RAM module, its primary purpose is to serve as the physical and electrical interface for the memory. 46. Which component stores data and instructions for quick access by the CPU? A. SSD. B. Cache memory. C. RAM. D. GPU. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Cache memory. Explanation. Option B is correct because cache is a very small, extremely fast type of memory located on the CPU chip itself. It stores copies of the most frequently used data and instructions from RAM, allowing the CPU to access them almost instantly without waiting for the slower main memory. Option A is incorrect because an SSD is a long-term storage device that is thousands of times slower than CPU cache. Option C is incorrect because RAM is the main system memory that holds all active data, but it is much larger and slower than the CPU's cache. The CPU pulls data from RAM into its cache. Option D is incorrect because the GPU is a separate processor for graphics and does not store general data for the CPU. 47. What is the typical purpose of a GPU in a computer system? A. Manage data storage. B. Execute network protocols. C. Render video and images. D. Control memory allocation. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Render video and images. Explanation. Option C is correct because the primary purpose of GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit, is to perform the intensive calculations needed to create or render all the visual content you see on your screen, including 2D images, 3D graphics, and video. Option A is incorrect because managing data storage is a function handled by storage controllers and the operating system. Option B is incorrect because executing network protocols is a task handled by the CPU and the network interface controller. Option D is incorrect because the operating system is primarily responsible for controlling how system memory is allocated to different programs. 48. What is the purpose of a power supply unit? A. Provide data storage. B. Supply DC power to computer components. C. Manage network connections. D. Boost CPU speed. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Supply DC power to computer components. Explanation. Option B is correct because the power supply unit, or PSU, takes the high-voltage alternating current from a wall outlet and converts it into the various low-voltage direct current outputs that all of the computer's internal components need to operate. Option A is incorrect because a PSU is a power conversion device and has no capability to store data. Option C is incorrect because network connections are managed by the computer's network adapter, not the power supply. Option D is incorrect because a PSU's role is to provide stable power, not to boost the operational speed of the CPU. 49. What component is responsible for increasing the speed of frequently accessed data? A. Hard drive. B. Cache memory. C. USB drive. D. GPU. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Cache memory. Explanation. Option B is correct because CPU cache memory is a small, very fast memory buffer that stores copies of data that are frequently used by the CPU. By keeping this data close, it dramatically speeds up retrieval and improves overall performance. Option A is incorrect because a hard drive is a form of slow long-term mechanical storage. Option C is incorrect because a USB drive is a form of external storage that is significantly slower than internal components like RAM or cache. Option D is incorrect because the GPU is a specialized processor for graphics and is not involved in speeding up the CPU's general data access. 50. What does RAID 1 provide? A. Data striping without redundancy. B. Mirroring for redundancy. C. Faster read speeds. D. Error correction. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Mirroring for redundancy. Explanation. Option B is correct because the primary function of RAID 1 is to create an exact real-time copy, or mirror, of data on two or more drives. This provides excellent data redundancy, as the system can continue to operate from the second drive if the first one fails. Option A is incorrect because data striping without redundancy is the definition of RAID 0. Option C is incorrect because while RAID 1 can offer improved read speeds in some cases, its main purpose and defining feature is data mirroring for redundancy, not performance enhancement. Option D is incorrect because RAID 1 provides redundancy at the drive level by duplicating data, which is different from error correction, a process that finds and fixes data corruption within a file like in ECC-RAM. You have reached the end of our first question set. For the free complete exam preparation, visit our website link in the description, where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. Thanks for studying with us today. See you in the next video.